Flight boss, bitch. You know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Terry's Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God's duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And we're going to talk about these little bit of energies that's getting ready to transition because, you know, the moon, she finishing up, cleaning up the house, you know, cleaning up the house of Capricorn, you know what I'm saying, making sure all her Capricorn kids is ready up and suited and booted so she can get ready to go into her next spot, which is, you know, Aquarius. But for the most part right now, she's still responding and reacting to the space that she's in. So she's cleaning things up. So when you correlate that into your life, the moon being in Capricorn, this causes us to react and respond to cardinal earth, initiating and creating new ways of how to think and be practical. So right now we're like, this is what we're reacting and responding to. The blueprint, you know what I'm saying, the archetype of something, the structure of something, and the planning of something before we actually put in the work and build it, aka Taurus, and before we analyze it after it's already built to see if it's sustainable enough to construct business within this business, aka Virgo. We're just in the Capricorn stages, so we're reacting and responding to the idea of what we want to start. So we have to draw out the blueprint, make sense out of it, make sure we got everything that we need as far as credentials or information to be solidified so we can actually go full force with that motherfucking energy. You know what I'm saying? That's what Capricorn is all about. Being prepared for the idea to start to formulate so things can start building. So we need to get employees, aka get more ideas and concepts and structures to build under our imagination that we want to build. You know what I'm saying? We got to get it. That's what employees is. You're putting your things to work, and sometimes it may manifest into an actual person, place, or thing that can help you get from point A to point B. But you know, all this is dealing with that Capricorn energy. So this is what we're reacting and responding to. And the moon always motivates the sun. And then the space that the sun is in is going to be how it appears to be. So when you look at your sun, moon, and your ascendant, this is your character. Mercury through Pluto built your characteristics. So it adjusts your characteristics. And due to all your alignments, this is how your characteristics is going to be adjusted as a snapshot. But for the most part, when we talk about the sun, moon, and the ascendant, your moon is what you're familiar with. So it's your like light body that you have created for yourself to remind you where you're coming from. Because to know where you're going, you have to know where you came from in order to sustain yourself in the present. So the moon is like more close to your true state of being. So it's like your needs. It's your needs. It's who you are. Now, so that motivates the sun because the moon is your feminine body. So the feminine body came first. As spirits, we create our feminine body first. That's why the feminine energy is first. It's not that feminine and women is God. It's more that the feminine energy itself, the yin energy, the subconscious energy, we created that realm first. Now, for the most part, when you talk about your feminine, now, if a spirit resonate more with the feminine energy, then when they go into a realm of reality, 9 times out of 10, they take a female body. You see what I'm saying? A body that has more components towards the feminine energy than the masculine energy. And then for any spirit, because spirits has no gender. Now, any spirits that come down here and resonate more with the masculine energy, 9 times out of 10, they take the they take the male representation of that physical shape and form that got manifested out of just pure energy itself. You see what I'm saying? And the energy itself is just the yin and the yang. So, and then we know the yang came from the yin because the yang is the physical representation or the light spectrum or what can appear to be of what yang was or what yin is. So yang is what yin looks like because yin don't have a look. Yin is internal. And once the internal start to create itself outwise, externally, then that's what creates the yang. So we are able to see our internal realm as if we're seeing something externally and things of that nature. So keep that in mind also. Oh shit, I got a text. One moment. I don't want to stop this video. One moment. Alright, where was I at? Yeah, so like the motherfucking moon, so you know, this is your first body that you create for yourself. So it represents your feminine nature. Now, once you create that Merkaba, your feminine body for yourself, now you want to be aware of yourself externally. So you want to put your admitting out. You want to admit your imagination because that was the first womb that you went into. Your own imagination going in within yourself as a spirit. So that's when you started to create that vortex and started creating the light spectrum of your Merkaba, your moon, right? So that was your ability to travel through the astral realm, through the shapeless, formless, and odorless, non-flammable realm. Now, once you start to take that condensedness a little bit, now you can emit yourself into a realm of reality, aka find the light go through a parent, and that's aka simultaneously you emitting your imagination, aka you wanting to see the representation of your state of being. So this is when you start to create your masculine shape and form, which will be your solar plexus, which will be your sun, your that spectrum, your masculine shape and form. And then that's your ability to be seen, and that's like your ego, that's like what you appear to be. So now you can see it, and with sight, with that current that sees, you're able to see direction. So you're able to have a sense of direction now. You're able to have 4 C's. You're able to actually go and move along and actually see your imagination start to accumulate. And the more light, aka the more you're giving direction, paying attention, giving your light, giving your imagination, the more added to it, the more it could appear to be in a realm of reality and appear to be solid. Therefore, it appears to be an actual light body that you're in, that you could think is physical, but it's just a denser version of a fluid. You see what I'm saying? So you need to know that's what's actually going on. So your sun sign is actually how the moon looks, and the moon motivates the sun for a direction. Now the space that the sun is in is going to be your ascendant. So it's going to be how your sun look. You see what I'm saying? So how your sun feel is your moon. Same way when we talk about the moon representing the feminine energy, right? That's just like the woman. This is why it's important for the woman not to work too hard and utilize too much of her masculine energies, because that is not good. This damage the moon. The moon becomes untransparent, and that is not a good state for a female under any circumstance, because we as men, or just a woman herself with her own spirits, her own intuition, and her own thought forms that she emit in the universe. It's important for every woman to be comfortable and to be in a positive environment, or that can cater to her emotions and feelings. You see what I'm saying? That can make her emotions and feelings feel comfortable and feel positive. You know, it's important for a woman to be conceited. I don't give a fuck if the woman, if she feel like she the ugliest thing in the world. It's important for every female to have a sense of confidence, a sense of conceitedness. This is y'all nature. Without you being in that type of space, the spirits you attract to this realm is going to be reckless spirits. Because this is what you need to understand, right? As far as females, the spaceships you guys create is what attracts spirits to this realm. So based upon a woman's vibration, a woman's emotional state, a woman's state of being, that's going to let you know what kind of spirits is roaming this world. Now, the thought forms that the woman put out is like the egg cells, like a womb. A spirit going to that to be like, okay, this is a state of being that I resonate with. Before it have eyes or whatever, this is a spirit, no thing. So it resonate with this. So that's the first vehicle it goes into. Now it needs a more dense, a more light shape and form. So this is where the male come in. The second coming. The second come. You see what I'm saying? So when the male come in, the male derives his thoughts and ideas from the state of being, or the peaceful energy, or sometimes chaotic, most of the time in this realm, the chaotic energy that the woman is in. So then once the male start to develop a thought form of what he would do to this woman, the spirit that's already in the womb of the woman's thought form start to look at, okay, that's the light. That's the light I need to go into. That's the right machinery. That's the right mechanic. That's the right vessel I need to go into in order to come into this realm of reality, to go back into the space that I was resonating with in the first place, which is the woman's energy. You see what I'm saying? So boom, once the male get all kind of thoughts of what he gonna do to this woman and things of that nature, boom, the spirit that was in the woman's thought form, the woman's vessel, goes into the man now as an idea, because it's that light is impact with the information that represents that woman's state of being, and what can happen in order for that system to work so it can come into fruition. You see what I'm saying? So once the spirit go into there, now it's in the next right system. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when it comes into the one-dimensional realm. You know what I'm saying? Then once it goes through all the fluids in the man, whether it becomes a habit or a thought process or a love, aka once you start to feel for that woman, you start to develop waters, right? Or feel for whatever you want to indulge in. You start to develop waters in you, but you're just really making little vessels again. You're making more dense one than the higher one, which was the thought form vessel. Now you bring it into heavy fluids, and you bring it into your more currents and your chakra wheels, cells for this being can live through each chakra wheel till it gets to the bottom chakra wheel, the bottom planet, the bottom current, the bottom water, the bottom ocean, the bottom fluid. So for the most part, it has to die and be born again at each cell. Each blood cells are, each cell is a body. You need to know that. Now for the most, just like the thought form is a body. Now once it goes into that, these spaceships is more equipped, aka these vessels is more equipped to go into the space that it wants to come from. That's why y'all get the zigzag coming from the west, east, west. You see what I'm saying? Now you're doing this. Now once you come out, the male in his body, he made a whole like a fucking universe. Like he made the chakra, which is the sperm fluid, and all the men and women that's in there, which is the sperm cells. And then spirits take each sperm cell, just like your spirit is taking the bigger organ now. That's your body that you're in right now. But your spirit is not none of these things. It's just going to these to experience, so it can come into the expansion and contraction, aka experience can make the spirit big enough to go into another realm of reality. So then, boom, once it goes back into the space that it's familiar with, what made it attracted to this space in the first place, which is the woman's womb, now it has the ability to go into it in a physical way. So now this is the two dimension, which is the woman's womb. And then that spirit gets to be born into this realm of reality after 9 months. So, you know, every 3 months, a male organ system change. You see what I'm saying? So that'll be like the first 3 months. And then once it go into the woman, it finish out the 9 months, and then it lives a whole year as a cell life. You know what I'm saying? So a day to you will be a year to your cell life. So for the most part, 12 months to you, the 3 months from the male and the 9 months from the female. You see what I'm saying? Now, once 3 months pass, a male has a whole different reproductive system. Everything switch and clear up. That's why when you get filled up with too much, you need to release. Otherwise, you're going to either have a wet dream, and it's for females too. Once you get filled up for too much, you're going to have to release. You can't just be filled up with a whole bunch of bodies you created and a whole bunch of spirits in them having an existence without you having a revelation, without you clearing out. You're going to become cluttered and smothered and come with some type of system of destroying, whether it leads out into you feeling depressed and you feel like you have to start eating a lot, or you get sexual habits and you feel like you have to release it like that. In some way, shape, or form, you have to keep the release system going, because there's a draining system going. There's a receiving, giving out, and that's going from every frequency, from the thought form to the emotional form, all the way to the physical form. And you have to keep that system going. So when you got this Lucifer character teaching everybody to retain a sperm in some way, shape, or forms, that's the Lucifer spirit letting you know to retain him. And then just as much as what Lucifer is trying to do, go to the actual space and location that God is at as a physical shape and form, so it can take the position as the shape and form of something you can't be. It wants you to do that in your body. So it wants you to create a bunch of new little blood cells, fluids, aka fleshly fluids, aka men and women, right? That's what women and men do. It wants you to create a bunch of these just for spirits, just for the spirits, like many spirits of Lucifer could go into those, right? And then it wants you to do some type of kundalini type of energy where you kind of get into the pleasure of wanting to release, but then you retain it and let it go back to your head. So you let a spirit that ain't you. You don't create spirits. You just create the vessel. You need to know that. You ain't create no goddamn spirit. That's why everybody's personality is different. That's why a person in the same family could feel differently, and that's why people from separate families can come together and feel the same. This is because your spirit has nothing to do with the physical shapes and forms. It's just family and blood fluids and streams. This represents how much you have experienced a certain astral travel with a group of other spirits that you are around, rotating, causing rotations with each other. And when you come into a realm of reality, it plays out as familiarity. And familiarity takes shape and form into many different ways. You could say close friends, family, materials, the circumstance and situation, the location that you was born in, you know, the area and the shit that you're manifesting in your life. This all correlated to that. But for the most part, once you understand how to truly separate but align yourself, you know how to manifest the true people, places, and things in your life, whether it's family or not. It doesn't necessarily have to be. You can have somebody in your family that's still part of your spirit family too. So don't get it fucked up what I'm saying, right? But as far as when we talk about getting here and things of that nature, your spirit ain't ain't none of these things. They just come to experience. So you just develop the light. The light is physical. Light is shapes and forms in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional realm. You see what I'm saying? They're conscious waves. Same way water, how y'all looking at water down here? Yeah, you could touch water, so you could say water physical, but then you have to sit back and look like, but damn, actually, what the fuck is water? Like, you can't just leave and say, oh, it's H2O and you know what I'm saying, that's it, that's all. But look, motherfucker, look, you grabbing water, it's going through you. What the fuck is that? So you need to understand on a higher frequency vibration what the fuck is really going on. See what I'm saying? Now, you barely know what the fuck water is. So what the fuck you think a higher frequency vibration of a current gonna represent? You see what I'm saying? So it's, for the most part, all these are the spectrums. So when you build up a lot of ideas, a lot of feelings and emotions, you're creating a lot of men and women inside you. Now, spirits, you don't create spirits. So boom, you get attacked, or now I don't even want to say attacked, but based upon what they resonate with in your state of being, the vessels that you're creating, they're lights. And to the other spirits, they resonate with that state of being. So they want to experience being in a world. So they go into that. So once you got a build-up of anything, ain't no telling what kind of spirits you got into you. So why would you listen to a lost Eastern? See, but I'm Archangel Uriel. I'm here to help y'all. Y'all probably think these are the right things to do, but it's really not. This is why anytime you release any stress, you feel good, don't you? Anytime you got pent up anger and emotion, you feel bad, right? Don't let no esoteric, or I don't want to say, don't let no spiritual guru or whatever like that try to make you try to reverse that nature when it comes to spirituality and things of the Kundalini and rising your chakras and things. Rising your chakras, you don't need no Kundalini work to rise your chakras. But as far as the Kundalini, that doctrine is wrong. So don't let them lose you into thinking that this is something you're supposed to retain. But you know, as a fact, as a spirit, period, in your own life, it doesn't matter what realm of reality and what situation it is. Anytime you in a form of releasing, I don't care if you got to take a shit, you release shit. Anytime you in a form of releasing, your body feel that much cleansed, the better, right? So do not let no spirits let you talk about some type of sperm retaining. As you females also, you see what I'm saying? That's false. You see what I'm saying? Because then once you let a gang of spirits, you don't know what spirit is in you, and then you letting that spirit go back up your spine into your kingdom, and then they can take over. So you got all this energy and all these indulging and all these enticements of shit that ain't even really you. And you think you come across something new in your life. And 9 times out of 10, it's one of these Lucifer little spirits, one of Lucifer baby spirits from his space. And then it's going to give you all kind of ideas on how to be super successful real fast and justify manipulating people and justify doing a bunch of shit to the point that whatever you're doing in this realm of reality, it do look like you're doing good. But spiritually, you're becoming spiritually damned, like Saturn and shit like that, to the point when you look up 10th house, you think that's the highest part of a person's chart, when really that's the lowest of a person's chart. But since we're in the realm of reality that things is flipped upside down, then when we go up, we're like fish. So when we look up, we're actually looking deeper into the ocean. So the bigger planets, the bigger shapes and forms is what we aspire to be. And then we're following a lot of spirits that have did that before us. So that's what we're looking at when we're looking up at the constellations. So we're taking their ideas and their practicality and their organization and the way they organize and structure their life, and then we're doing it in their same patterns. Therefore, they're leading us right where they're going. You know what I'm saying? Just like a fish looking at the bottom of the sea, and the bigger creatures in the sea is the constellations to the fish. The bigger beings to the fish. So the small goldfish that's closer to the surface of the water looking at in the ocean like, damn, I wonder what those constellations are. They probably call it Orion and all kind of shit also. So you know that in the spectrum, what y'all call air and earth is just a bubble within a frequency vibration of the same thing. So when you could leave Earth through the bottom of the water and through the bottom of the ocean and through the outer of the atmosphere. You're just leaving through 2 spectrums of frequency vibrations. But the bubble that we in, it doesn't matter if you go through the lowest vibrational version of it, which is the heavy water bubbles, or the lightest vibrational frequency of it, which would be the air. Whichever spectrum you leave from, once you reach the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, it's that same thing. You're doing the same thing you're doing in the 1, 2, and 3 dimension, just on a higher scale. So the 1, 2, and 3 dimension, you can leave from the lowest vibration, which is below, or the highest vibration, which is the high. It's the lighter, and in between is the sustaining of that, is the spiral of that chakra. You have the bottom of the chakra and the higher of the chakra, and it spins and travel with the other chakras and shit like that. So this little bubble is the 1, 2, and 3 dimension. Once you reach the outer circle, now you're in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. Now you'll see how that shit run, and then you could go through the lowest vibrational state of that and the highest vibrational state of that. So when y'all looking up, that's actually down. Y'all actually looking at the lowest vibrational state of that, and down when y'all think the sun is setting, that's actually up. It's actually going to a higher frequency vibration of that. So when we're going through the fall and winter time, we're actually more up into the down part. You see what I'm saying? So when y'all think the sun is coming up in the morning, it really don't go that high, because where the sun usually go, well, like where it's dead at, that's actually where we at. So everything get condensed, cold, froze, snow, everything look like crystals at this point. This is the death period. You see what I'm saying? And this is where we up in. So it doesn't matter. This is where the sun usually be. You see what I'm saying? When we be seeing it super high and shit like that. Man, when we get into the fall and when we get into the spring and the summertime, that's when you know the solar plexus is a lot closer to the stomach. And since this plexus is closer to the stomach area, we're still traveling also. So we're more up in the area where, like more down. So we're dealing with a lot more transformation. So when y'all think the sun coming down in spring and summertime, that's when the sun is at its highest. Right? So if you live in the tropics between Cancer, this, that, and the third, you're basically like in the stomach, like wherever is the hottest at in the world, that's where the most transformation is going. You see what I'm saying? Most transformation, that's where it's hot. Things is transforming. Boom, 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 boom. So you could say that's a lighter frequency. You could say that'd be like the heaven areas of the body. You see what I'm saying? Where transformation is going fast, 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 fast. So, like I said, during spring and summertime, we're not ascending. Where y'all think ascending, that's actually going down. We're actually lower. But down is actually higher in reverse. You get what I'm saying? So we're down. So during spring and summertime, that's why when the sun go up, it appears to be way higher. Right? It appears to be way higher. But the sun is way higher. It should be colder at that time, right? But it's not. You have to keep that in mind. We're just more in we're more in the heaven, but we're just facing upside down. So you can't really see that. So you're never really looking up until we get to really winter time. And we spin looking up. We actually flip around, but we be so high. What y'all think is high, that's really low, right? So that's why the 10th house appears to be your highest part, because we're ruled by this being, which that chakra wheel is actually the most prominent here. So we think that's the heights to go, whatever this being is doing. But that's another video. I didn't even really get into I couldn't even get into the goddamn sun, because the moon being in Capricorn, all this energy is what people is carrying right now. You know what I'm saying? This is what we all need to react and respond to at the moment. So keep that in mind. But yeah, shit go motherfucker deep in this motherfucker. So just let you know, we're more into heaven. Heaven is about, and don't even look at heaven in a religious terms. Just look at it like this. The higher in dimension, the higher realm, the higher frequency you go, shit is much lighter. Lighter as in weight, which is life is much faster, more unexperienced. So if you did come to a lower level of life, if you did come to the ocean, you're more experienced as a spirit. So when you do go back up, you're able to understand that you're no thing, so you appreciate each experience that's going on at an instant. And you're able to do more action than reaction. Therefore, you're able to understand what you're actually doing and actually be able to do some form of determination. Therefore, you could become a master incarnator other than reincarnating into someone else's incarnations every goddamn time. See what I'm saying? But flight boss, bitch, goddamn air,